Hey guys, Mason here. Welcome back to the Sweet Spot, where I create delicious desserts that you can follow along with at home. As always, the full written recipe and ingredients are listed down below in the description box. Also, while you're down there, if you want to join the family, click that subscribe button and you'll get 2 new videos every week. We kicked off our fall baking series with pumpkin roll on Tuesday. Today, we're going to be making apple dumplings. The apple is the star of the show in this recipe. When it cooks with that pastry dough around it, it gets so soft on the inside. It's also seasoned with butter and cinnamon sugar. These are absolutely to die for. If you all want the recipe, stick around and we'll get started. We're going to begin by making our dough, all-purpose flour, shortening that's been chilled, unsalted butter that's been frozen, and ice water. Now I like to do this part by hand, so I just freeze the stick of butter itself and then either grate that using a box grater or a plane grater into the flour and work it in by hand. You can use a food processor for this part or a mixer. It almost looks like mozzarella cheese, doesn't it? Now we're going to pinch in our shortening. And then put this whole bowl in the freezer for 30 minutes to chill. Now what I'm doing here is just going through and making sure that none of the pieces are too large. We're going to break those up with our hand and make sure that everything is about pea-sized. And the last thing we do is just add our ice water. I add 3 tablespoons at a time, so just take your time with this part. It'll take around 6 to 8 tablespoons completely. And then once your dough sticks together, it'll still be a little shaggy, but it adheres to itself. We're going to pull that out and wrap it completely, leaving no air bubbles, and put that in the freezer again to chill for 30 more minutes. Now while the dough is chilling, we're going to peel our apples and make our apple cider syrup. We have brown sugar and nutmeg, butter, and water and apple cider. Now over medium heat, we're going to add our water and apple cider to a pan and then mix in that brown sugar and nutmeg until it's completely dissolved. And once the mixture gets warm, you can start adding in your butter until it has all completely dissolved. And you're going to bring this to a boil and let it boil for 2 or 3 minutes. And then we're going to turn it down and let it simmer for at least 10 to 15 minutes. Now if you don't have an apple core at home, you can just use a regular knife. And you go around all 4 sides of this and make a cube going all the way through the apple to the bottom. And then you can just grab that core and pull it right up through the top. Just make sure that you don't leave any seeds inside. Now with our dough out, we're going to cover it with flour and our work surface with flour. And we're going to roll it out to about 1/4 of an inch thick. Using our parchment paper trick. I swear by this, you guys. It makes so much less mess and takes so much less time. Now I'm going to divide this into 4 pieces, and you want it big enough to where it's going to cover each of your apples. you'll put your peeled apple in the center and just begin pulling up the sides of dough around it, making sure you pinch off any of those seams and smooth them out. If you have any extra dough on the top, you can just pinch that off. Now we're going to take our butter and cinnamon sugar and put that down into the hole that we cored out and cover it with some more dough. Oh, these are so good, you guys. Now for the fun part of this, we're going to cut out some leaves and a little stem for each of our apples. And you just cut out a leaf shape with a knife. If you have a leaf cookie cutter, that would be perfect for this. I don't have one on hand. This dough is so easy to work with. You can mold and shape it into anything, honestly. Now we're going to score it down the center of each leaf and then make our little veins running off of the center. And to make the stem, you just pinch off a little piece of your dough and roll it out between your hands until you get a cylindrical shape, and then cut that off. Now just to attach, you literally just leave a divot in the center of your apple where you cored it and push those leaves down into it, and the dough will adhere to itself. Now we're going to do the same thing with these stems. How cute! I love it, I love it, I love it. Now, in our pan that we're going to bake them in, we're going to cover these completely with syrup. And you'll have a pool in the bottom of about an inch or two, but you want to make sure that when you're pouring it, you're getting it all over your apples. Also, while this is in the oven, don't forget to, every 5 to 6 minutes, you want to baste it. You can just use a spoon. And here's the final product. I love when I cut this open, it just opens up like a book. Look how soft that apple is. The cinnamon and brown sugar has penetrated through part of the apple. And then you get that wonderful dough. The textures of everything just pair so well together.
So what'd you guys think? There's something very rustic about this dessert, and I love that. It seems very homemade, like your grandmother could have made it for you. I think they're absolutely adorable with the shape of the apple forming those leaves and the little stem. It just takes it over the top. The taste though on this, it's absolutely a home run. You can't beat that classic apple cinnamon flavor with a crispy pastry dough around it. You can also add bourbon or dark rum to our apple cider syrup. I think that would be so good. Also, if you want 2 fall flavored treats every week for the month of September, hit that subscribe button down below. What are you waiting for? I hope you all give this a try. From my home to yours, enjoy.